Irish Arsenal Gunner podcast. It's Tuesday, the 31st of January 2023. As everyone knows now, it's transfer deadline day. We'll be here till midnight. Hopefully get Neymar, Mbappe, and Lionel Messi on board. As we speak, Jorginho, Ozzy just told us in the last few moments, has just signed for us £12 million over an 18-month contract. He wear the number 20 jersey as well. So a welcome addition to the squad. On the show tonight, I'm joined by my regular guest, Carl Ozzy Osborne, as I just mentioned. How are you, Carl?
Good evening, mate. How are you, everybody? All right?
Not too bad, thanks. Ian Gunry, how are you, pal?
All good.
Thanks for joining me. And on of our very own, the man that makes this all happen, Martin Stafford Stoneville, formerly Southampton manager. How are you, Martin?
Not too bad. My agent is outside. I might get a transfer before midnight. So
he's been gunning for that P45 all year.
just Arsenal.com. We're on, like they're looking for me. Oh no! Thanks for having me on the show again.
Entertainment and League TV.
That might be something we might put into consideration. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Anyway,
good evening, mate.
Nice being on the original show again.
Of course, not to leave Martin out or anything on his own show. Catch Beyond the Last Man. Which are you having a show this week, Martin?
Yeah, like we were waiting for as well for the women's transfers as well to come in, and after the 9-0 for the women, we're probably gonna have a show. I think they're gonna play during the week again, so we will have one. I'm not sure if it's gonna be tomorrow or like maybe next week. I don't know. It's not they don't play that many times, so like, and we just want to get like good enough content out anyway. But just to mention it from our show, like as I said, just Arsenal.com. They have a women's page as well, and I just want to give them a little bit of a push there. We just want to work together with them. They also have a YouTube channel, just Arsenal Vids. I'm going to put this in the description of this video if you want to follow them. Just have a look. They do quite good. Like they do all the press conferences from the women's and the men's team just the day beforehand. So if you ever miss one, you can go there and have a look at it. And just the website itself is just doing like Arsenal news, and they're very, very good. And they want to further as well the women's game as well. So we're going to be working with Michelle from just Arsenal.com together in future, just to do our show on the women's side as well.
Yeah, you can catch our shows always on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel, and as of last night, we're back on Spotify as well. You can catch all our episodes from the 1st of January. 5 we've done in total, and including our own show tonight as well. So they've all gone up. Just looking at it, was last April was the last show we done on Spotify when we lost back to back to Southampton and Brighton. So hopefully this isn't an omen and it'll be taken down again. But that's where you can catch. We're back on Spotify, and Martin will stick it up on the
you will, yeah.
Of course, clubgolf.co.uk. Use Dub Arsenal 10 for the discount for our sponsors there. Catch all the matches in the official supporters club, the River Bar in Dublin City Centre, where you can catch all the gang every match day. Last week's stats was 121 views, up from the previous week of 110, 10 likes. And Martin, I think we're at 2,820,000 subscribers now, aren't we?
Yeah, nearly on the 3,000 mark, so which is great, with 25,000 watch hours, which is absolutely phenomenal. So thanks anybody who is sitting through this and actually listen to what we're actually talking about for all that time. So yeah, it just really helps us. And as well as like if you want to support the club, under the video there's a little thanks button. You can click it. You can give from 50 cents up to 500, whatever you like. So it's just to keep this channel running, because like we all putting our time into it, and yeah, it's just nice to be appreciated. And what we would like to as well is that if you have any comments or anything, suggestions you would do, just put them in the comment section. Like things we want to talk about. Ask us questions. Just make this a bit more interactive. And then we would like to give somebody our fan packs. Or just let us know what you want to do. Just let us know what you think. And criticism always good as well, so we can work on it, and yeah, and look, maybe we get you on the show as well if you're really interested and you want to do this. We always have another slot in for guests, women's show or men's show, doesn't matter, so we can definitely do something.
And just so there's no rivalry, of course, this show is better than Martin's. That's one reason why I asked him on this week. I'd just like to thank, there was one comment left under our video last week, Matthew J. Staunton, simply put, his comment was class, lads. So I'd like to thank you, Matthew, for that comment. It means a lot that people are actually viewing and listening to, and that's been week on week now. And there was a lad that Craig didn't know that says keep Craig on the show, but I still have my doubts about that. I'm not sure we paid him off to say that.
His burner account. It's his burner account.
As he walked into 45 there. More Merlot than Pirlo. God, we miss you this week, Eamon.
Yeah. Craig still owes me a fiver for that comment.
And if somebody from Santa Rita is listening, we do open for sponsorship, so we do sell good Merlot. And if it's not, we can do a Cabernet Sauvignon as well. It doesn't really matter.
All alcohol is sponsored by Martin Stoneville there. Yeah, we've a busy show, lads. On the show this week, we'll be reviewing our FA Cup fourth round 1-0 defeat to City, unfortunately, in the Cup. Previewing Saturday's Premier League fixture against Everton, 12:30 on BT Sport. Sean Dyche's first match in charge for the Toughies. Goal and player of the month for January. There's a few crackers in there as well. Tough one this month, I think. There was a lot of standout players and a good goals as well in there. And of course, the January transfer roundup, including the signing of Jorginho today from Chelsea. I suppose we kick into the Friday night game. It's been a bit away now. Nathan Ake scored a goal for City. I thought the player that stood out for me for Arsenal is on the night was Leandro Trossard. Definitely in the first half, really settling quite quickly. He gave Nico Lewis an awful time running at him, Tomiyasu had a good shot early on, and so did Trossard. Probably unlucky not to score through Tomiyasu. I think that deserves going in itself. Partey was a big loss. I think we all agree struggled when he came on, and I think he's heading to Palace on loan as of tonight. I think Patrick Vieira is an ideal manager to bulk him up. I think that's a good move for him. I thought Matt Turner quite impressed me as well. He's very quick off his line. When he saw Hannon running in with Holding in trouble, particularly in the first half, he cleared his lines quite well and comes out for crosses quite well as well. So it was quite impressed. The times I've seen him this season, he is a very good backup to Ramsdale. I thought we stayed in the game a lot. I thought the changes as in the second half kind of lost a bit of momentum, I think Saka missed Partey in the centre of midfield. But City at home, we're always going to control the game, and as good as I am going out of the FA Cup, and kind of with the way we're playing, where we are in the league and in the Europa League, I'm kind of glad we're out of it. So I'll go to Martin since it's your comeback, Martin. What do you make of the game on Friday night?
I actually watched it in the river bar. So we had a few people up in the river bar watching the thing. It's one of these nights, like, let's say that I wasn't disappointed with the way we played. I was disappointed with the result. But I think, like, City didn't show anything which we would have to be afraid of. The problem what we had, we actually, in the first half, as you said, Tomiyasu had a great shot. Trossard played really, really well. He, he just stood in very well for Martinelli. So I think it's a very good signing we have with him. And unfortunately, we just didn't score that goal. We controlled the thing well. Besides, the only weak point for me was Holding, and that's why he went off, because he had this yellow card, and I think if he would have stayed on, there would have been a red card into him. So again, that makes Rob Holding a little bit of a liability, the same way as he did against Spurs. But unfortunately, like when Partey left, there was a bit of like, what happened? And with Partey and that going with Holding going together, like it just kind of felt a little bit unbalanced, especially with Partey and Lokonga coming in. He's just not the same player. And then you said, I hope in he gets a good run in for Crystal Palace, in midfield, and we might get a player there because he's supposed to be a really good talent, but he just didn't get the chance to play, and he seems to be not scared, but I think he feels the pressure when he comes on. He has to perform something miracles, and he can't, and that just has him tightened up, and he just doesn't play forward. But it just also shows how important Partey is to this team, because I think if you could have kept Partey on, and had a few other changes maybe around, we might have avoided the goal. City didn't have any shots on goal beside that one goal which hit the post and then came back and Ake put it luckily into the goal. I think beside that, they don't have really many chances on it. Turner played quite well. I don't think he had to make too many saves. So, look, that can happen in any game, and I hope it doesn't happen in the league when we play them. But I think when we play a full team, especially with the backups we brought in now, and we can have something coming off the bench as well, I think we have a good chance in the thing. It's a pity, like FA Cup is our speciality. Like we love the FA Cup, we all know that. But in some ways as well, we might have to look maybe Europa League and Premier League might be enough not to go after it. It's gonna be still, I think, 25, 26 games, which if we go to the final in the Europa Cup, so. It might be a blessing in disguise. Look, if I could swap it for a win against City and we play them in the league, I definitely do. But we can't do that. We anything can happen. But yeah, I don't think we have to hide from Man City.
No,
they're going to be a different team as well when they play, obviously, in the league. But yeah, the goalie had actually quite good saves. I think he actually played. He was a quite good stand-in for Ederson. So. It's what it is. I think we had good chances. We didn't convert them in the second half. They had a bit more pressure, but I still can't recall many other shots. But we just didn't deliver as much as we did in the first half. And that just shows what Partey does to this team. And unfortunately, it didn't last. And as I said, it was a lucky win. But yeah, look, it is what it is. And let's concentrate full, I think, on the league now. Everton coming up on Saturday. That's going to be a massive game, because you don't want to lose that. Or lose points or drop points there, because that's exactly what we don't want to do. But I think we might have a chance. But look, FA Cup is gone. And as I said, it's 5 days ago now, like in Phil. So I had to actually rewatch it today to actually didn't want to remember it, but just to understand what I've been talking about, Well, yeah, no, look, it was an all right game, but yeah, I think circumstances and the way we think it was all right, like that we should have won maybe or not, I don't know. The only thing we didn't want to have a replay because we have so many games already.
Yeah, I was hoping that it wouldn't go.
Yeah.
I thought as well what City done quite well. They swamped Odegaard. They were so on him immediately. He got the ball and he just couldn't. I think he was given out to. I think it was Lekong, was it? I think for that. Wasn't it? He gave him a right tongue lash, and you can see a bit of a captain in him, Martin. Can't you? Odegaard down the line. He's got that.
100%. Like where, and again, like Odegaard, where he came from and what he's doing now. Like he's like the pair. Like even like I remember when I was in London the week beforehand. When we played United, even when we went down, he's the one who gets the crowd going, and he's just such a leader on the team, and it just shows you how many years of football he has in him, and it's really like he's like how is it 24, I think 25, not even so, so he's still a young fella, but he has like the experience of a 30-year-old on his shoulders because he started so early. So I think he looks quiet, but I'm quite sure like in the dressing room he probably has some things to say as well, and he would let you know. So it's look, I think he's the perfect captain. Like he doesn't lose his head. He always seems to have a smile on his face. But as you said, for me, man of the match was Trossard because he really, really didn't make Martinelli, missed it all on the left side, and he showed it in the United game. And when he came on in that FA Cup game, he really had a really good game. So, man of the match for me was Trossard anyway.
Yeah, by hands down. Yeah, Trossard for me as well, Martin. Yeah. Carl, how did you see the game on Friday night? Disappointing?
Yeah, I'd say disappointed with the result. But to be honest, it's one of those games where we've had a loss and you don't walk away too I'd say disappointed with the result. But I took a lot of positives from it. When you looked at that starting 11, I think the starting 11 for me was stronger than I thought it would be. to begin with. I think we called it was going to be a weaker side, or certainly me and Eamon did. We said it was going to be a weaker side. But when you look at that back four, really, Turney, Gabriel, Holding, Tomiyasu, really, only one of them starts if everyone's available at the moment. Because we'd have Zinchenko, Saliba, and Ben White come in there. And I think they did well. And I think we're starting to see that we have actually started to get a good squad now. I think there was a few people singled out. I think like Holding's got some I think Holding, but you got to understand, like with Holding, I know Lukonga. I'm gonna say something about him actually, because he was singled out for a lot of abuse online, and you've got to remember, like, he's a young lad. He's still 23. He's certainly for Lukonga. He's been thrown in there half time against one of the best teams in Europe. I think it's fair to say. And he's just expected to switch it on and perform. Whose confidence probably low because he don't start well, and he's going to be like that. We've got to look at the human element of these players. Like, if any other 23-year-old would struggle coming in that situation, and I know he walked off at the end of the pitch, and there's a lot said about that. He walked straight down the tunnel, we didn't go and clap the fans and stuff. But you could also look at that as he could have been so disappointed, but he just wanted to get off that pitch, because that was his opportunity. He knew it was an opportunity to shine. He knew he'd had a bad game. You got to think, it's a tough situation for him. So I'm going to sort of back him up there, because I've seen Sambi play, and I did say a couple of weeks ago that I'm starting to lose patience with him. But I've always said there's a player there, and I think there is a player there, but he does need a run of games. I think if you'd have switched back 12 months ago, 18 months ago, we'd have said exactly the same about Nketiah.
Yeah.
And look what he's done. You give him a run of games and he proves it. So I'm quite glad he's got to move to Palace, because I think he'll show what he's about, and he'll show us, and we'll probably look to next season. I'm hoping he gets a lot of game time. We'll see him. So I think for the actual game itself, though, I thought the first half was really positive. But we held our own with the team we had as well. I just think that there was a few key, even though we put a stronger line out, there's a few key changes that really, for me, that made a big difference. And certainly with Partey coming off, obviously in the second half, that lost a lot of shape. I think Odegaard, like you say, like Martin said, it shows his importance in that team. And as much as I like Fabio Vieira, he's shown glimpses of class. I think he needs to bulk up, and he needs to. This is a transition season for him, and I'd like to see. I think we'll see a different player in him, because he has got spark, and there's no two ways about it. I think he will be a player. And I thought sort of Saka really struggled to make an impact in this game. I thought they doubled up on him well, and they sort of marked him out the game pretty well as well. So overall, I think I agree with you guys. I think Trossard looked like he'd been in the team a long while. He just looks like he's been playing for us all season, and he's and I think Martinelli probably needs that a little bit of competition. I think it's healthy to have that. And also it will save him. There's a lot of games to play now coming up between now and the end of the season. So overall, I've taken positives from it. I think there were changes in, but for me the key changes, Holding, he didn't have a great game, did he? But again, similar to Lukonga, he's been thrown in at the deep end. You don't play often, Rob, but come on, let's go and play against Erling Haaland and see how you get on, mate. It's a pretty tough ask,
a big ask,
any centre half's going to struggle with him. So I think we just need to look at that a little bit, and Arteta's given him a go, but let's be honest. When you're taking people, not starting with people like Ben White, Zinchenko, Saliba, Martin Odegaard, your team is going to be, against it. Certainly at City, and I'll look at their side with De Bruyne, Mahrez, Grealish, Gundogan, Haaland, Rodri. John, you go through that team. It's a class side. So look, we didn't get a result, but I think we can take a lot from it, and it certainly doesn't worry me as much as City have done in the past, and I think we're certainly closing that gap. Whether we've closed it, I don't know, but we've certainly closed that gap between us and City, and the Premiership shows that already, doesn't it? So let's see. I'm more confident about playing them in a couple of weeks than I was before.
Yeah. It was a very tight game Friday. Yeah, it could have went either way, really. One goal was always down to second. It was that tight, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think you summed it up, Johnny. I
think Jesus, certainly, if Jesus was there on Friday night, he could have been that type of striker that could have troubled City's backline, because Nketiah didn't really get a sniff, did he, all night?
No, it was a tough game for him. I think you summed it up last week, mate. You said, as long as we don't get a thumping.
Yeah.
And I think that was key. And I think we both said that, didn't we? As long as we didn't go up there and get absolutely hammered, and we've gone up there, we've weakened our side quite considerably, and we still haven't got a thump in, and that says a lot. But what I have noticed with this side, even though with all those changes, we're still playing the same football as well. So before, I don't know if you remember the League Cup against Brighton, we sort of a bit disconnected with the football we was playing. We couldn't really put it together. It shows that the whole squad's coming on board with this, and the more they play together, I think the better it will be. And I thought we played some good football in that game. It certainly didn't look overwhelmed by the occasion.
I thought as well, as Martin said before, come to yourself, Ian, I thought between last Sunday's game taking Ben White off with a yellow and obviously holding on the yellow, he's very smart though, isn't he? If he sees a player in trouble, he'll take him. He's not afraid when they're on the yellow. So fair play to Arteta in that sense. He saved Holding from meltdown. I suppose if he got sent out, he would have got a barrage of abuse if he got hammered. So fair play to him. Some point had a hair though on Holding. I wish I had that.
And if any of our sponsors would like to sponsor us to give us a hairdo like that,
Turkish hair transplant stuff. It'd be between a bottle of Merlot and a new head of hair for Aussie before season's end, preferably. Ian, you're back on. Thanks for coming on. What did you make of the game, Ian?
I kind of more or less say the same as all of you, like without kind of, I suppose, repeating the same kind of things. I think I thought at the start, I'll be honest, like when I seen the lineups, I thought, oh no, this we're kind of set up for a bit of a pounding, really. Like I thought it looked like we were kind of sacrificing it. Which at one stage I was kind of like, yeah, fair enough. I can kind of understand that. Like you can't compete on 3 trophies and try to win the league. It's tough, and we don't have the squad depth to do that. But I was pleasantly surprised at how we played. I think like we definitely, like from the past experiences of when we played Man City, and we were few and far between. We weren't even like a hope and hell and chance of trying to get anything out of it. And I think it just goes to show how much the gap between Arsenal and Man City has been pulled back. I think I think he got the line perfectly, if I'm honest. At the start, I think we really gave City a good game. I just think we were unfortunate in certain areas that I think Saka was marked out of the game. And when you take Saka out of the game, Saka is one of like our most creative players. And I think if you can keep him out of the game, it's like keeping Haaland out of the game for City. It's like it takes a massive lot of their decision making out of the game. But no, like I think similar to what Ozzy said, there's a lot of positive to take out of it. I like Trossard is an unbelievable player that's looking like he's going to be, and I think also you can kind of see, as I think all of us kind of mentioned, that even with all those changes, you didn't think it was a different Arsenal. Like it still looks the same kind of fluid Arsenal team that's there. And I think, yeah, you want to win the FA Cup, but I suppose like I was annoyed. I was annoyed we went out, because I think had we played our full strength team, I think we would have won. Being honest, I think that game was there for the taking. City were definitely there for the taking. I think if we went with our full strength team, I think we would have nicked it. But then it's a risky game to play, because you could play your full strength side and win the game, but then you get injuries. Like we were very blessed that Partey's injury wasn't as serious as it was. That could have gone either way, and I dread to think where we'd be without Partey this season. He's been absolutely immense. I think when Partey was on, we were quite solid. I think we were holding Man City quite well. And it's unfortunate Holden had to get a very silly yellow card that realistically his next challenge he would have been sent off. So like there's just things that happened in that game that we were just so unlucky, and it played against us. But I think the one thing I would say is the league game on the 15th of February is going to be way different. Like 100%, like it's going to be different. Like when we started making those substitutions, we got straight back into the game, and we were causing them an awful lot of pressure. And like, look, don't get me wrong, Man City, fair play to them. Like, best of luck, like in the FA Cup, of course. But I think when you look at the goal that we conceded with Ake, look, it's just an unfortunate goal. Look, we had chances that we could have got that luck. You know, you'll get that luck some days. You won't get luck the other days. And I think we like, you look at the goal that Eddie and Kenny got against Man United. That was extremely lucky. Do you know what I mean? So you will get luck in your days, and you'll get luck. You won't get luck in other days. And that's just football. But I think, look, if you had said to me, right, you can either wait on the 15th of February in the league or beat them in the FA Cup, I would be taking the league all day because, look, the last time we won the league, it was 10. So when you put it in that perspective, it's a long time. But no, look, I think,
haven't aged a day as well, eh?
I had more hair then.
Exactly. But now, look, I think overall they played very, very well. We were unfortunate with the goal, but look, I think they learned a lot of lessons there, how to kind of bring it into the league match. And I think, look, we just move. It's just a bad day. Unlucky with our chances, but I think overall there's a lot of positives to take from it.
Would you have liked to see? I don't know. Would you like to see? I know Marquinhos has gone on loan now to Norwich today till the season end. Would you have liked to see Marquinhos maybe even have got a run out Friday night?
I think if they would have known that Marquinhos is going to go, so like it's look, and that's the problem about it. Like we can play every game with the same 11, you know, and then you have players who never play. And that's exactly the games what you actually have them for, is to bring them in. Because if they didn't play against in the FA, okay, we could have won the FA Cup that game, and then the next one we could have rested. We could have rested some against Everton because maybe another. It's if and buts, you know. It's not what it is. But if you have 25 players, you want to play them, and they're the games like you want to kind of give them a chance because that's what you bought them for. That's why Turner is playing. This is why Vieira is playing. This is why Lokonga should have played. Whatever it is, you know, that's the kind of players you have because. Badly enough, like imagine something happens in the league and they didn't play for like God knows how long. So then they're even worse because they didn't get any games. So it's a little bit of a tightrope. And I think what we're doing at the moment is we are backing up this kind of the starting 11 so that we're not relying on really weak links in these kind of games. And again, we're still in a project. This is still going on for over years. Look, anybody who told us that we are 5 points ahead in the league after like half time and you know, we're still in the two competitions in Europa League and we won all, like we've been in the top there. You would have said, like, look, that's a dream. Like, that's not where we're supposed to be. And I don't think that we can go for everything. Like, obviously, we always said, we go then, you know, like we play the FA Cup and then we win the league and then we go to Europa League and all this kind of stuff. That's not going to happen, not with the team. We're lucky where we are with the team what we have, that we are actually fighting for a title, that we actually have the chance to fight for a title. And hopefully next year, if the rumors are true, we get Rice in, you know, we get another one, so we don't have Sambi playing for Partey, or maybe we have Partey then covering for Rice, you know, in the league. God knows, but we have better players, and that's what it's a project, and we're still not there. And look, we could have won it. We could have had a different team in this round. Unfortunately, we drew City, you know. It would have been a better outcome if we would have had, like, I don't know, Wrexham, you know, would have been great for like views on Netflix, but you know, like, you know what I mean? It's one of these things, like we're unlucky that we got Man City so early, like, you know, we could have gone maybe another extra round, whatever it is, but it is what it is. We actually didn't go and made a fool of ourselves. We had a weakened side. Man City had a much stronger team than they should have had probably. But look, we made a thing, and as I said, they didn't have any shots, and fair play to Holding. In the first half, Haaland wasn't existing really. He had a few, you know, tackles or whatever, but unfortunately, like he does silly things, you know, to forces a yellow card. But like he did a good job of him marking him. He didn't have much chances, not that I remember. He's physical, obviously, but that's just the name of the game, you know. And as you said, like he doesn't play that often either. And sometimes when you only play one game, the pressure is on you. And somebody said that to me, like, you know, if you look at Martinelli and Saka and Odegaard, the way they don't play exactly the same things all the time because they have the freedom to do what they like. But if you put on like Cedric and Marquinhos and Vieira and Lokonga, they feel they have to do what the manager is telling them, and they don't want to, you know, get off that kind of level. Don't want to do anything stupid because if it works out, fair enough. But if it doesn't, they might not play again. And this is the kind of pressure what you have when you're sitting on the bench. You don't want to be too experimental. You just want to do what the manager tells you. And sometimes it's just not good enough, especially not when you're playing in a team like Arsenal. The first team is tearing up everything. So it's a hard decision. if we would have played the first team, we might have won. We might not have won. We might have got injuries. You just never know. But that's ifs and buts. We can't. We're out of it. Next game is Everton. Win this, and then we're back on track. And then we see what happens on the 15th of February. If we win this, we can't trade it. If we can trade it, would be great. But I think we have a chance to play them at home and look.
Yeah, but
we give them a game anyway.
Even on that, like when you look at the time Liverpool won the league. When Liverpool won the league that year, like they were challenging for almost 4 trophies right up to near the end, and like they just came out with the league. Then I think that year I could be mistaken, but
they've been in their project way further ahead than we are.
Yeah,
because they had a much better team as well. They were able to compete on 4 levels. And next year, God, hopefully, like we play in the Champions League, it's going to be even harder because even the easier games are not that easy. The group games are not going to be that easy. So we now have to get this base sorted and another transfer window in the summer, and hopefully get like somebody like Rice in, get another striker in. God knows what we're thinking,
That Carragher interview with Arteta, he said it straight up, didn't he? He says we're ahead of where we thought we was going to be.
100%.
And that's where it is. And the fact that we're top with 5 points clear, we didn't expect to be with that. So we haven't got the squad for that. And that's what he was saying. We're ahead of the game on where we're at. So some times we're gonna be playing weakened sides out, and that's what happened at City. But we walked away from it, not down. There's no momentum shift. It's not we're suffering a bad loss. The media are not saying our bubbles burst or anything like that. We went up there, we've done ourselves proud, and we walked away. We were out of cup, fair enough. Let's move on. Everton next.
Yeah, I think I'd just like to give a shout out as well to Father Balogun. He scored a cracker against Paris Saint-Germain. 10 goals already this season. He's even surprised me how quickly he's come on. I think that'll
be like a new signing.
yeah, exactly. I when you compared him to the first game against Brentford, he looked completely out of his depth, but he's really settled at Reims, and he mightn't even want to come back, But I probably could see you probably get a good transfer price for him though. If you loan him out again.
He actually dedicated that goal he scored last night, Jonathan, to Thierry Henry. He said that it was, he did. He said it was similar to when he scored like the last minute goal against United in the last minute or something like that. And it's a similar type of goal that he scored, and he said that's what it reminded him of is Thierry Henry, and that's where he gets his motivation and all from. Yeah,
he kind of finishes like him, doesn't he? As well, he's he's got raw pace, hasn't he? Like he skinned down 2 defenders, Marquinhos of Paris Saint-Germain and Donnarumma. He dummied him and just put it in the top. Yeah, it was.
It just backs up Martin's point. He's playing with freedom. He's playing with flair.
Yeah.
He's not worrying about the pressure. He's not worried about. He's not under instruction. He's playing his game. He's learning his trade, and that's exactly what Martin's just said about Saka, Martinelli, and that. And
do you think Balogun could get in ahead of Nketiah and Jesus though?
Well, God knows what happens with Jesus. Like he might be like lured away to Real Madrid or whatever. God knows. And look, this is football. Like money talks and whatever. So Jesus might have a good game, and he might be a transfer target for next year. I hope it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But again, we were talking about look. We're still in the transfer. Maybe it's actually a good segue into the transfer window. There's only so much you can buy in a transfer. You only have 25 players. Like for instance, like Cedric going to Fulham, they had to shift somebody out to get him in on loan because you can only have 2 players on loan from a Premier League side. So it's not that easy just to get somebody in because you can't just back up everything. But we are actually still short the striker. So because Nketiah at the moment, if he gets injured, who's playing? I know we can get Martinelli, we can play Trossard, but in real terms, you really want to have another striker. So Balogun could be that thing. I don't know. He's not that tall either. But he looks actually like quite tall as well. I think it's something like 5'11" or something. But imagine like you have Jesus, Nketiah, and Balogun in the form he is now, like sitting on the bench, and he can come on. It's like look, and again, he's like a new signing, as you said. And if he comes back with the same attitude as Saliba does, and can play like Saliba, God, like you have a player, and then you can decide either what you want to do. Is you want to stay, or you have a great amount of what you can sell him for in the transfer window. But it's great to have these players going, and hopefully Lokonga can go to Crystal Palace and do something similar where he can play with a bit more freedom and do what he likes and actually show what he does rather than being slaughtered, as you said. But look, that's football, and you just have to
on
play it.
that though as well, like another player that's out on loan that seems to be playing quite well as well is Charlie Patino.
Yeah,
like
he scored
he's
again.
another player that could be someone who could slot in there maybe in a year, maybe 2 years. Like
big time.
Like he's looking really, really positive.
Yeah, like Patino is more though is a bit more it's more like an Odegaard role in it, like a Vieira kind of like it would be more that kind of way.
Yeah.
So but again with Smith Rowe coming back hopefully as well. I don't know how bad his injury is. But we have cover now, and that's great. Our bench looked solid enough on during Man City on Friday. We actually had something which we can bring on, like to make a change, and that's what you just want because you need this, And this is what we always say, like the B team of Man City can beat any team in the Premier League, which is true. I mean, but there's millions and millions of things sitting there, and it's like today, like we said, look, if you want to buy somebody for sitting on the bench, and if it's 70 million, that's what you have to do as a big team. You can only play 11 players. There's not more you can play, But if you have somebody with 70 million sitting on the bench and you can come on, that makes a difference,
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do. So let's hope we can get there and we see where we go.
Yeah, we'll go back to the transfer window briefly at the end as well. So to wrap up the City game, so lads, myself and Martin went for Trossard as our man of the match. Ian, who was your standout for the Arsenal?
I think full house. I would say Trossard as well. He absolutely immense the whole game.
Ozzy.
Yeah, Trossard.
Clean sweep.
Closely followed by Matt Turner because I thought Matt Turner was good as well.
Yeah. So that's us out of the FA Cup, anyway. one less game, one less headache to talk about. We move swiftly on to Saturday's Premier League preview. Away to Everton because this is our fourth game against them this season. We were due to play it in September. Actually, is this a home or away, lads?
This is away.
This is the game. This is the rescheduled game, is it?
No. That's the
home game. Is the
original game.
Away. Sorry, apologise.
I'd say the rescheduled game, by the looks of it, is going to be the weekend where they're going to play the FA Cup next round.
Happy days.
I'd say because Everton are out as well at the FA Cup, so I think that's where it's going to be. It's not confirmed yet, but it looks like that.
Oh yeah, actually, I heard something about that. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty quick, less than a month in playing them. Yeah. That's going to be 12:30 on Saturday, lads. On BT Sport, that is. Sean Dyche's first game in charge. They haven't won since October the 22nd, Everton. Of course, Dwight McNeil and James Tarkowski is two ex-Burnley players for Everton. It was never easy playing against Burnley when Dyche was manager. It was always a tight game. Very rarely, it was always by the odd goal or two. Probably Saturday could be, that bounce effect of a new manager for the squad. I'm going hand on heart in this one. I think that I have a feeling this could be a draw. I think Everton will be very hard to beat on Saturday, and if it isn't a draw, probably by a single goal maybe. Sean Dyche, he's very tough and he seems to get the best out of basic players as well. There's a good, there is good players there at Everton. It's just moulding them again into a unit. I go to you, Martin. How do you see the game going on Saturday? Be tough and molded. New manager.
Yeah. They could have kept Lampard for another week, couldn't they? It's just so frustrating. So yeah, like it changed. If he would have stayed, I think it would have been a different story because I remember we were at the last match last year in the Emirates, against Everton. They just looked dire there, so they didn't change a lot. So Lampard should have probably gone then. But anyway, like he kept him up and they gave him another chance, but they just never looked at him. The only thing what I can see is it might be a manager effect, but what can your manager do in a week? They sold the young fella to Newcastle as well. They didn't seem to have bought anyone as much as I can see who is named. I think so. So look, it's the same players. I don't think the way we play, we should have a problem. But as you said, like I remember, was it last year when we went to Everton and the spectators, like the fans didn't want to turn up because they wanted to get the board out. Like nothing changed in that year. But like we got dumped, didn't we? Like your man
2-1,
scored
Gray
2-1.
scored
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. You know.
yeah.
And it's never it's like having a wounded animal, you know, like, you know, they're just never easy to fight. So unfortunately, with Deutsch being in, and Deutsch is a very good manager, and he will definitely get the best out of them.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one, but I still think we have enough technical ability. We have enough players that can play the game, and we shouldn't have an issue. But as it always is, we never know. I would have been happier with Lampard in the thing, but that's what it is now. Like, I'm still gonna go for a win. I'm still gonna go for actually, I'm gonna go for a 2-0. But yeah, it's not gonna be an easy game. I don't think. I hope we're gonna score early, because if you score early, then you know that's gonna be it. You know.
Fans,
And look, there's nothing to say that we can't do it, because any game we started so far, like even against United, we really have this, you know. So yeah, let's stay positive. Don't think, and I hope that what Arteta is doing as well. And yeah, let's get another win, hopefully.
Yeah, it's always a tough game at Goodison Park. It's like one of those old school grounds, isn't it? The fans are right at the pitch level, so you know, pitch level, and
I just hope that they're gonna kill somebody in the boardroom, and the game is gonna be called off and 3-0 relegated for us. So you know, like it's gonna be mad fans up in Liverpool. You know, never know what happens. You know.
The early morning kickoffs are always it's hard to know what way we come out, but isn't it? It's the 12:30 games are always you don't know what to expect kind of thing. Yeah, you'd expect us to have too much quality though for Everton, but as we found out last season, we were 1-0 up through Odegaard. I think they scored 2 in the last 10 minutes or something, you know. So when you think the game's won and taking your foot off the gas, this is what can happen. Aussie, be a tough game at Goodison Park, won't it? It's always, and especially with a new manager now as well.
The timing couldn't be any worse, could it? Let's be honest. This is absolute diabolical timing, and it always seems to happen to us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It has to be Sean Dyche, doesn't it, as well? You know he's going to fire his players up. You know the crowd's going to be fired up. If we, you know what, my biggest objective of this game is to come away without an injury.
Yeah, I was just going to say that
he
doesn't kick the legs off.
He should be in rugby league, that guy. You know what I mean? He shouldn't be playing in football, Sean Dyche, because he's just going to basically try and kick us off the park like he used to do with Burnley every time we played him. I can't stand the bloke, if I'm honest. He actually lives in my town as well.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he did it at Burnley as well. Yeah, he lives in Northampton. Yeah, just I was gutted when I found out he was going to take over this match. We talk about this new manager bounce, and I think we're going to do really well. I'd take a point from this. I absolutely would. Take a point and no one in an ambulance at an end. I think that's what I'll say. Because they've got talent, and I'll just look at their side, and they have got talented players. They have invested well, and Frank didn't do much with it really. In fairness, did he? But I'll just look at Sean Dyche. I look at Neil Maupay on the bench as well, and I just think he's going to play. And he is. We've had history with him, and he's a proper Sean Dyche player, isn't he?
He is.
You know what I mean? So I just think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be really physical. I think this will show, albeit our team have matched physicality this season when people have tried to bully us, like United tried, didn't they? Spurs have tried, and we've managed it. I just think this is going to be a really tough game. I'd love to say I think it's going to be an Arsenal win. My prediction's going to be 1-1. That's what I'm going to go with. But the positivity that I'm going to say is I just hope we can come away without an injury, and that's it. Because I just it's just he's going to try and kick us, and that's where we go with that one. But yeah, they're a good side. I think Martin's right to point out Anthony Gordon's left them. He's a big player for them, and how he did that as well was pretty diabolical as well. How he's gone up to Newcastle. He's never to lad through and through, and just to leave like that, I think it's pretty terrible. But yeah, look, it is what it is. I'll take a 1-1. That's my prediction. But if we win, fantastic. We're going to win the league.
Now, on a positive note, Ian, how do you see the game going on Saturday? Are we going to win the league if we beat Everton?
I'm actually. It call me crazy, but I actually think we're going to be quite comfortable against Everton. I think you have to look at when we played like early kickoffs don't bother us. Like when you look at the way we played against Bournemouth earlier on in the season, that was a tough place to go. We never we struggled there before. Look when we played Brighton in the MX. Like Brighton have gone and look at the amount of points they've picked up. They've knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup. That's not an easy place to go.
No.
I mean, White Hart Lane. When's the last time we've won on White Hart Lane? We've gone there and we looked comfortable. Do you know that kind of way? Like, I mean, they have the mentality there to get the result, and Arteta seems to know how to get the most out of players and how to get their heads right in where they need to be. And like, don't get me wrong, Everton, they're not to be shunned and they're not to be laughed at or kind of taken for granted. I mean, they got a draw against City in City away to City, like, you know, so
yeah,
they can definitely get a result. But I just think, look, it's starting to show with the way Arteta, when you see in his lineup for the FA Cup, he's going for the league, and I think like all the players want the league. And I actually think there was something that was mentioned that they have at the Arsenal training ground, they have an empty slot where the Premier League trophy is. So every time that they go to training, they see this empty, like, little kind of area where the Premier League will go, and that's their motivation every time they go to training.
That's
is that
great.
we want to put something into this trophy case. So
Spurs have got something similar to that. It's just an empty room. You just go in, it's just empty. It's just a room. I don't know. Probably no one's explained to them what it is. They just think it's a vacant part of the building, mate.
Well, I think, look, if I'm to make a prediction, I'm going to go bold. I'm going to go bold because I genuinely feel this is going to be a lot easier than we think it's going to be. I'm actually going to say 3-0 Arsenal.
Oh, okay. That's good. I hope you're right, mate. I hope you do.
If we get 3-0, you get an Arsenal supporters fan pack.
Yes.
I'll take it.
And all Spurs fans get a new Armitage Shanks toilet and sink. No, I have to say I'm surprised. Yeah, they're going with a comfortable win in. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough, you know. But like, he's only had a week really to work with him, you know. So they mightn't be, you know, in that Sean Dyche mode yet.
I'll throw it back to you, Jonathan, just on that comment. Like, when you look at when we had our manager troubles and we were going up and down the table and we changed our manager, we didn't exactly have a quick bounce. So, like, do you know that kind of way?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
It can go backwards, like.
Yeah. Johnny, I always do a betting tip lately, don't I? Because I've got a few bets come in, but I'm going to bet that Mikel Arteta's going to get carded in this game.
Yes.
Him and Sean Dyche both going to get yellow cards. Stick a bet on it.
Yeah,
You'll get pretty good odds for that. They're going to kick off.
He's gonna slide tackle Dyche on the line.
He's going to do a Louis Van Gaal and throw himself on the ground.
The scenes when Arteta scores a penalty.
I don't think, being honest with you, I don't think Arteta will want to ruin that fine whiff he has in the front. So I don't think there'll be much danger to that. Could be a yellow. Yeah, I can see that being feisty, actually, yeah, because as Martin says, we score first, the Everton fans will get very rowdy because they're on a 10 line, aren't they, at the moment with the board, and they're getting frustrated really week on week. Yeah.
Sean Dyche should be all over that one.
He loves all that.
He does.
I think being at home is probably, if this was at the Emirates, I would have fancied us to spank them, but Goodison and all, they're going to be revved up, aren't they? But I don't think they've signed anyone today, Everton, have they? I don't think at all.
No,
it's surprising, isn't it?
I just had a look at it. They were actually like, they wanted to sign Ndidi, I think. They got rejected. So
Ndidi. Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, he's had a shocker at Leicester this season, hasn't he? He got lambasted there again when they got
Ndidi, or I don't know if it's even his name.
No, Ndaya from Sheffield United.
Ndaya from Sheffield United, yeah, sorry. But it was rejected, so yeah, look.
Yeah, no one really wants to join the club ready to go down, yeah. It could be goodbye Dyche and goodbye Everton come to season's end. The only one I feel sorry for really is James Coleman. He's been in and out of that team all year, hasn't he? He's coming to the end, I suppose, of his career. But let's go on the positive and say an Arsenal win. I'm going to throw prediction stats. I'm going to say another 1-0 win. Martin, you were saying?
I said 2-0.
Ozzy,
1-0. 1-0.
1-0. Jesus. And Ian was saying 3-0.
3-0,
Still
yeah.
saying 3-0, yeah.
He didn't say which way, so he's on his tickets.
3-0 Arsenal.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
still
look.
1-0 in Paddy Power because Ozzy's been right a few times actually, so it's like so frustrating, Jersey.
Put a sock in it, Josie.
And I'm even gonna go. I'm even gonna go wilder. I'm gonna say Jorginho scores in the debut.
Oh God, if he plays, that's the
He
thing.
gets a penalty and gets sent off for slagging Chandra. Yeah, no, that's a good show actually. Last minute panel, yeah, I'll go with one also. We go to our goal of the month for January. Sorry, golden player of the month. To go with goal of the month for me, it was between two. Bukayo Saka's goal against United and Martin Odegaard against Spurs, but I think Odegaard's probably narrowly wins it for me. Just the way he struck it right into the bottom corner and being in it London Derby. I thought he had a great game all round in that game. So for me, goal of the month would have to be Martin Odegaard against Spurs. Ian, your goal of the month for January?
I think for me, just for the time it was scored in the game and just how much it changed the game, I would go say Saka against United. I just think that completely just changed the way the game was going, and it just went straight into our favour from then on.
Yeah, good shout. Martin, your goal of the month for January?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't want to repeat that again, yeah, but I mean, I've been in the stadium for that goal, and it's just like, and the good thing about it was such a great goal. But the best thing about it was like that 20 minutes later, he nearly tried it again, and only Eriksson just got it on his ankle.
Yeah.
It would have gone exactly the same spot again.
Yeah.
So this wasn't a fluke. It wasn't like a goal. Like he obviously is training that. Like he comes in from that side, and he just battles it in. It's just brilliant goal, and it's just that guy is going from strength to strength. Like and we said like about Vieira bulking up, like Bukayo Saka was like that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, he was.
And look where he is now. Like he can't push him off the ball, and that exactly was the strength, like why he came, and that goal was just for me well worth like a goal of the month.
Ozzy, your goal of the month for January? Tough one.
Yeah, I didn't hesitate on this one. Saka against United. It was just amazing. Yeah, fantastic finish. I did have Odegaard in my mind as well for the Spurs. Well, that was in my shortlist, but yeah, absolutely. Saka versus United. Yeah, it was the best goal he's scored, I think, in his career so far.
Well, 100%, and a pressure one as well, because it was the third time against United. Like, so he's in this club now with Thierry Henry and was it Overmars? Was it Overmars or yeah? So like, look. It's a great thing that boy is only a young fella, like so he's just gonna go from strength to strength. So yeah, he's definitely a touch of gold, and hopefully he's gonna be signing his new contract. Like Martinelli did.
Arteta, are you listening? This is your moment to shine. Tie that boy down.
Saka, are you listening?
Oh, sorry, because probably Chelsea go with 350 million, and he signed tonight at 12 o'clock. Player of the month for me for January would have to be hands down to Eddie Nketiah. I thought he's had a superb month. In terms of goals, obviously the winner against United and the double against Oxford, but I think just for his all round play at the moment with Jesus out, he could have felt the pressure, but I don't think he has since the restart. I saw him against West Ham on Boxing Day. He scored that day, and he hasn't stopped scoring really since. So Eddie Nketiah for me for January player of the month. Ian, your player of the month for January?
I think for me, like it was between two. It was between Nketiah and Odegaard.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna give it to Odegaard just purely because I think as a captain, he's getting the most out of our midfield, and I think just the chances he can create and the goals that he has managed to pull off, especially like against Tottenham as well. I just think he brings so much to the team. I think, and like every player kind of just bounces off him. And I just think for me, I think he's been superb. So I'd say Odegaard.
Yeah.
Martin, your player of the month for January?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, it was three players. It was Partey, Odegaard, or Nketiah. Nketiah for obviously where he was, like and he actually stepped up to the plate. But as Ian just said, like I think Odegaard is really the glue between all of it, and not only in the games, but like outside the pitch, like and everything. It just seems to be that he is really a really good captain figure. And now he scores goals as well. So it's just generally kind of like an absolutely amazing, outstanding thing what he's doing at the moment. So yeah, I give it to Odegaard as well.
Carl, your player of the month for January?
Without sounding boring, I didn't even hesitate on this. I put Odegaard in my notes. But you got it. You know what? Rather than talking about Odegaard again, Nketiah for me, you know, he didn't win my player of the month, but he was up there. And to do what Nketiah has done with all the pressure, with all the lack of backing he got from our fans when Jesus got injured, he has proved himself and he's a worthy addition to our squad and an important part of our squad. So although I haven't chosen him, fair play, Eddie. You've done well.
Your defence is in trouble.
There hasn't been.
That's got to catch on. That's got to catch on.
I suppose Tommy Yasu had a good month as well, didn't he? When he's kind of come back into the fray again, hasn't he? Sounded
it just doesn't play enough. But for me, like the main thing why we're playing so strong is because Zinchenko is back. You know, like for me, he's actually the key figure which unlocks the midfield between Odegaard, Xhaka, and Partey. That's what Zinchenko does, Tierney doesn't do. And once Zinchenko's on the pitch, them three have the freedom to do whatever they like. And that is just for me such a amazing thing. And Odegaard can do with these things. And that's just great. Like he gives them the freedom and they actually go and do it. And that's why them three are so playing so well. It's so hard to give any specific player something because in general they're playing so well as a team, and that's great to see. You have to not one person is standing out. It's just like the whole team effort, isn't it?
So I've just looked at the teams in January as well. Zinchenko had a shout in that player of the month.
Yeah, 100%. Like not only for the way he plays, but like again that thing against United, like when he scored, like like he's in the fans and everything.
Yeah.
And if you see the heat map of him in United, he was everywhere.
More touches than any other player, Martin. 85. Well,
it's just incredible, and he's just and I think we mentioned this before in one of the things. He's a born winner. He's exactly what we needed. Like with Jesus and Zinchenko, they come from a team that the winning was not. You just had to win. And that's it. And he was so disappointed against Man City, didn't he?
You could see that quickly. He was being wound up, he even being wound up by his old teammates. He was actually getting. He was frustrated, but he tried to laugh it off. But you could see he was getting angered, wasn't he? Where he's really committed to the Arsenal. You'd nearly think he wasn't a City player at all, which is great. It was great. No, he is definitely a key signing for us. He's probably been the standout player, Zinchenko, in a quiet way as well.
Yeah.
I suppose that game's on BT. That's in the River Bar, Martin. I assume the Everton game, is it?
It's on, in the River Bar, early kickoff, so should be good. It's again, that's the early kickoffs, and a few times now we had like early kickoffs, and they work out generally quite well. But still, like the last couple of games we had in the River Bar, like it was jammers. So if you want to come early, get your seat, get a bit of breakfast in the River Bar. It's actually quite good.
If Martin says so himself,
you have to give them a bit of plug. No, it's actually it's really good. Like on Saturday, like especially the bank holiday weekend as well for us.
Oh yeah,
so it's gonna be a busy weekend anyway.
Yeah, if anyone has a leap card that lives in Dublin, you can bring a +1. So if anyone wants to become an aspiring Arsenal fan, there you go. You get free on the bus and maybe a free garden or a free hiding at the end of one or the other. Just like to say as well, there was a lad, I don't know if Martin met him on when we were playing Friday night, the New York owner, Bryant is his name.
Bryant, yeah.
Did you meet him on Friday, Martin?
We did, yeah. He was in the Man City game as well, and he was sitting on our table. So he was. I think it was a Man United game as well, wasn't he?
As well, he was. Yeah, he was talking to Paul at that. Yeah. And we hope to have him in the next few weeks. Hopefully, and it's nice to get another side of the American side. I know the New York club's quite big, the Arsenal Sports Club there. So be nice to have him on. Hopefully over the next.
I was actually in the New York Arsenal Sports Club the last one in New York. And it's good. Like they've quite a big venue, and it's like surprising, like the massive sport that's there. It's really, really good, and they've all like different flags and different stuff from Highbury back in the day and stuff like that. It's very cool.
What's the name of the pub? That they're in?
I think I don't know if it's the same place now. I think it was called the Pig's Ear or something like that. But it was a weird name. It was a very weird name from what I can remember. But it's literally Arsenal. Do you know when you go to a place and you say, "Oh, there's like mixed teams." There's not a bit of wall that doesn't have red and white on it.
Yeah. It looks. He says it's you. He says you're lucky to get in. It's that busy on match day. You know, it's that busy. Yeah.
It's in general like the American support is like just incredible, and you have to think about them. Like when we played like a 12:30 game against Everton, it's gonna be 6 o'clock in the morning in New York. Do you know what I mean? So, and in Los Angeles, it's even worse because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So they have really like tough times to get up. I remember I watched one in Las Vegas once. I was in a casino, like and watching it in the sports book. And like it's just, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning. It was just mad.
So, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I think, that was a good night.
Martin had his poker face on.
I feel sorry for Brian because he's currently watching 17 hours of Coronation Street. He's on season 2.
What a sucker to find.
Just for the record, Brian, you don't have to watch Coronation Street, mate.
What a sucker for
that. You live in a 7.5 tonner.
It was a bit of a shock for him coming on the WhatsApp group.
Stop. I'm sorry I added him because he just what the hell is this? I think he's so pissed as well. Who are these guys?
I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't turn up. But it's great to see the Arsenal family in general, kind of like, you know, on every side of the planet. Like, you know, you're gonna see a Gooner, and we have so many in the river bar. And I said, if anybody of this listening and is gonna come into the river bar, make yourself known to us. You know, like you're probably gonna get a fan pack in the river bar as well. But like we seems to have loads of Canadians and Americans coming over on holidays, and they always kind of seem to find us. We actually, when was it? Who did we play? I think there was a whole family from Orlando. Yeah, and every single one of them, are you an American football fan? No, they just love soccer. And it's just incredible. And he said, like, all the place where they stay, like he said, there isn't any American football fans. They're just soccer fans. And that is incredible for America. Yeah, you know, so and he actually just came over like and just to see, like, he actually went to London as well to watch a game. It's phenomenal what they do to see, like, you know, football games.
Yeah, they're very passionate, alright, when they get into the sport. It'd be great to have Brian on as well. So if you're listening, Brian, that's a shout out to the New York Person Supporters Club as well. So hopefully you get a few thousands more subscribers from that supporters club after tonight. Just don't listen to Beyond the Last Man. I suppose this show won't be going up at all tonight. Being transfer deadline day, we might as well say our signings to date, and it probably looks to be the end of it for probably with one another an hour and a half to go. Leandro Trossard joined from Brighton for 27 million. Jakub Kivior from Spezia for 17, and today, or just tonight, as he said, Jorginho signed from Chelsea for 12 million for 18 months. Outgoings really was only really Marquinhos to Norwich City today, and Cedric Suarez, I believe Martin was saying he's on his 2 weeks.
Yeah, it just seems to be like Fulham agree Cedric deal in principle, so like he seems to be on his way out, and then obviously Lokonga is going to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Crystal Palace
on loan as well. Yeah.
I suppose with probably not many more coming in, lads. What have he's made of the signings we've made? The 2 proven Premier League players, only through Trossard and Jorginho. Kivior, a lot of clubs were in for him as well, and we done our business quite early there. Are you happy enough with our transfer business for January, lads?
If I start, like, maybe like as we said, like, you know, we got like 2 proven Premier League players. With Trossard and Jorginho, so I think that's vital for the stage where we are at the moment, because that's exactly what we need. We need somebody who is proven, who can go and play, and as you've seen with Trossard, he's exactly what it says on the tin. Kivior, we all it's always when it comes to a transfer, he's a brilliant player, like, never heard of him. So he wasn't like a thing, and it's kind of like he seems to be like the some of my mates are watching the Italian league more than I do.
Yeah.
He said that he seems to be a very good player for the team. Like Spezia is like a team like Everton, like in in the Italian league,
Yeah.
down at the bottom, and he had an outstanding season, and he was known through that, like as a defender. So I think he might be good as well. We have a lot of Polish fans who basically said when they watched him in the World Cup, I think he got 3 or 4 starts in the World Cup.
He did, yeah.
So he can't be a bad player, and I think he would be a good addition to Gabriel, like a left-footed defender. We needed one of them seemingly to balance it out at the back. So it seems to be all good. Like we obviously went for bigger targets, but I think we would have been mad spending the 140 million, 150 million, which was for the 2 players we were looking after, and hopefully we can save that money and get Declan Rice in the summer. So that's our hopes and dreams. As champions, he will come to us, I presume.
Are you happy enough, Martin, with the outgoings in terms of loans? Do you think that will improve?
Yeah, like I'm hoping it's especially for Lokonga. I'm feeling for him that he goes and look, like all the ones we sent out over in the summer with Nuno and Balagun, playing a Stormer for thing. So far, like all our outgoings seem to be, blooming out of it, and hopefully Lokonga can do this well, and Patrick Vieira might be the right thing. But as we all said, like it's a kind of, with El Neni being injured now as well, seems to be had a knee operation. He's going to be out for the season. We might be short now. We got like Jorginho in, but like it would have maybe been alright to keep him. But then again, like it's one of these things you can't have cover for a cover and thing. But like we only have 3 center midfielders then, like with Xhaka, Partey and Jorginho. So and they're all over 30. so yeah, but I think the good thing is that the players we bought recently, Tomiyasu can play like a central midfield as well. If needed, he can play anywhere. White was playing center midfield as well before. So he could play there as well if needed. Zinchenko can come in, like with Tierney playing on the side. So we do have options now, which we didn't have last year. I think last year when we didn't buy anybody, we didn't have these options. Now we do. So yeah, I'm not too unhappy with it. We kept as well with a good range of money, and hopefully we saved some money for the summer.
Ozzy, are you happy with our transfer business?
Yeah, I think we've had some good additions, similar to Martin. I think we've got strength and depth in defence. I think we've got strength and depth in attack, and it's just the midfield that slightly worries me. I think with the El Neni injury and Sambi going out on loan, I think that just a little bit worried about. I think Jorginho is exactly what we need. I think he's a perfect signing, albeit I know a lot of fans are underwhelmed with it, but I think for someone that's going to go and sit on the bench with the quality he's got and the experience he's got, and I think his leadership values. I've seen Arteta's already came out and said that they've had a long chat before he joins, and he has a lot of experience and leadership that the team might need, and that's what you need to still someone to step in with that experience. Yeah. And I think it's a very it's a sensible signing. It's probably not what a lot of fans hoped, and the transfer was it national meltdown day for the Arsenal fans rather than transfer deadline day. But it's but yeah, I think Arsenal fans have got to realise we can't be paying the sort of money. I think Chelsea have affected this market.
They have.
It's only English clubs that are doing it. Like 80 million, if we'd go 80 million for Caicedo, or I think it was 70 million we're running for, it's stupid money. It's stupid money for someone. And
we've done that to Pepe, haven't we, Ozzy?
Exactly. Yeah. Look how that turned out, So we can't be held to ransom. We value a player and we stick to it, and we're sticking to our sort of our moral obligation to football, I guess, by not. We're showing a bit of class there, though, and we're not just going to keep paying that money, and that's what the Arsenal's about. And it's quite clear, you watch them sign tonight for 90 million, but no, that'll have to make me look stupid, won't it? But no, look, I think Arsenal are doing the right thing by not being held to ransom by clubs, and I think, and I support Edu and Arteta. I've said that from the start of the window. If Edu and Arteta think it's right, then I'm supporting them. And I'll be led by their judgment. I'm not a fan of transfer windows at the best of times, but I think the people we've brought in, Trossard, great, pro-proven. Jorginho, great. A centre half who's highly rated. He's playing international football as backup. Again, I can't think what I will say is about people going out. I wish Sambi the best from Arsenal fans, and I really hope that he gets the run he deserves. But Norwich City is one team I'm going to be watching in the Championship because I think Marquinhos will rip it up in the Championship.
I know David Wagner as well. It's that type of football he really likes.
He's a great player.
Yeah,
he's a great player, and he's a player I've been excited to go and see in the Europa games.
Yeah.
He's a player I watched quite a lot this season. And I look forward to going to games where we would play a decent emphasis. I just see people I think it's exciting. And this will be a great move for him. And I think Norwich City, if any of the Norfolk folk are watching this podcast, I'm sure we've got a load from Norfolk, Martin, on our stats. But they have got one hell of a player, and I hope they use him as much as. Good window.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Ian. Are you happy enough with our transfer business?
I think overall, I think we've signed players for in the right positions. I think my only, if I was to kind of pick a fault with it, I think we could have done with getting another striker. But what's out there? Do you know that kind of way? I mean, what's out there without going crazy? When you look at Chelsea trying to sign strikers for 100 million or 110 million, as Ozzy was saying. And look, we're going for the title. He still feels weird even saying that. It's not the conversations that I thought would be happening. I think we were arguing over whether we finished 8th or 9th place this time last year. What a difference a year makes. So I think, look, overall, I think we were smart with our money. We were smart with the players that we signed. With Kiwar, never heard of him. Got to be honest, never heard of him in my life. Hopefully he's decent. Trossard looks to be like he was there since the start of the season. Has just slotted in perfectly. I think, I think overall between the summer and the winter, I think every player we've signed has been an Arteta type player. And I think we're really kind of lucky in that regard. Because we've signed players in the past that just have not worked. I think, as we mentioned, with Pepe, and there was Guendouzi. Like, there's a lot of players that had so much potential, but it just didn't work out. And I think we just seem to have a team together now that you take one player out and another player can just slot in there. And it's very, very rare to get players like that. So I think it's been a good win now. And look, the table doesn't lie. The transfers are going in the right direction. Being 5 points clear with a game in hand, like that just shows you're buying the right players because they're all working for you.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been a good summer, and summer window just gone, and January transfer window. We've added quality and haven't lost anyone really of significance as well. The
only thing I will say, John, if I don't mind jumping in, is if Edu's going to do anything, can we not try and recruit Brighton's scout and talent ID team? Because if we cut out the middleman, let's not wait for Brighton to sign him. Let's get him before, because they have got some talent ID at Brighton at the moment, haven't they?
Haven't they?
Yeah. But,
it's a great model.
Interesting side thing on it, and obviously I'm going to have my Austrian hat on now. Sabitzer is going to United because Eriksen seems to be out till May with an ankle injury. So they got Marcel Sabitzer, who was sitting on the bench actually for Bayern. He's a great talent, and it'd be interesting. He's gonna slot into United. I hate to see it that he plays there, but what can you do? He would have been a good. Well, he probably is too much offensive player. He wouldn't be the defensive kind of part he would be Osaka. But Sabitzer going to United by the looks of it.
I remember seeing him actually. Ireland played Austria there a couple of years ago here. And he was very good at TV.
He was a stand-up player for Leipzig when he played in Leipzig, and he went to Bayern, and he just didn't get his game at Bayern. Again, it's because it's like Phillips going to his city, for a big move, your dream move to Bayern, and then you just don't get into the team, and that's what still happens, And he's a good player. And it'd be as I say, it's going to be interesting to watch what he's going to do in United.
Yeah, another one that really surprised me as well, briefly, that was the Cancelo going from City to Bayern Munich. I think he'll be a loss.
Something is happening at City. There is a bit of
Not
like,
a
you know,
big
with Pep,
fight,
with Pep
listener.
coming out, like, you know, saying there's no spirit, there's no fight, there's
Yeah.
no hunger, you know. And then Cancelo basically saying today, like, he didn't get on with Pepe the last couple of months. He didn't get his chances. So not
Yeah.
all well in Man City. So which is can only be good for us.
But like, I look at Man City and I just think it's a carbon copy of when we had Aubameyang at Arsenal, and you get one person that wants to be the star of the show. Everything has to run through him, and players are like, "Why is he so special? He's only in the door. We're all here. We've won league titles. We've won this for the team. Why all of a sudden is he the main person?" And I think that could be part and parcel of what's going on. I think that everybody wants to share the limelight, but it just seems to be Haaland taking it all. I just think that's disturbing. The players are either on the training pitch or in a match. You can see it as well. They're not playing with the same fluidness as they're playing. So there's like, I mean, the definitely signing Haaland has caused them a lot of trouble. And like,
they have to adapt to his game. That's the problem, like, you know. And again, like, there's enough divas on the team already. So, like, you know, like, now bringing the over diva in, it's just not gonna. And as I said, you can see it. There is something not right. Like, and Pep is a good manager, but yeah, this whole kind of synergy is not that what he wants, and you can see it now. There's a few people not too happy, and Cancelo going to Bayern, and interesting, yeah.
I think he knows that they're in a title race as well. I think there's fear that, you know, Arsenal are genuinely title contenders now and not pretenders. And we got Eamon to admit it last week in the show, so we're officially in a title race. That takes a lot to break Eamon, even after about half a dozen bottles. It's been a busy show. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the show? Sure.
No, as I said, just from my side, just check out just Arsenal.com news. It's a great page, and if you're there, like, just also check out the YouTube channel. I'm gonna leave a link for that in the description. As I said, like, subscribe, give us a comment, tell us what to do, and we make this show better, hopefully.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone that logs on every week when the show goes up, because the views happen really quickly within a couple of days, you know. So it's great. It's great to see. I suppose before I finish the show, I'd like to dedicate this show, as I did to every show in January, to aware.ie for depression and bipolar disorder, and D15 suicide awareness, where you can donate to their Facebook page. Thanks to Ian, Carl, and Martin for joining me this week. Give Martin's show Beyond the Last Man to listen to as well. But obviously stick to us first. We're officially back on Spotify again, so you can Tell Your Mates. We're back on, and you can listen to during their lunch break. Probably a bit over that now, so if you can sneak off to the Jacks for the last 7 minutes.
I'll be looking forward to the gift back for victory now on Saturday. The whole of the last night now, we have it on video.
The Wolves will be out. I tell you, we don't win 3-0. It's been a great transfer deadline day. The 4 best faces in the house here, I've been before. Thanks to Mikel Arteta for making it a day to remember Jorginho. He'd probably be sent off every third game. No, it's great. It's a great addition, and as Eamon says, every Chelsea fan is so frustrating. Then we sign one of their own. It's come back to hand. They're equally frustrating. Here we hope Jorginho wasn't the same. As always, thanks for listening. The show will be up on Dublin, on the YouTube channel, Dublin Arsenal, and on Spotify over the next 24 hours or so. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next Tuesday. Cheers, lads.
Come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners. See you later. Have a good one.
Are you listening?